What up, y'all? It's ttarSUBMIT, and today we're looking at y'all's theories for Pokemon Legends EA. Let's go. This is the email here. Dude, this one is pretty nice. Steven Stone's ancestor might appear in Legends EA and might be the hidden bad guy of Legends EA. And might win in the end. We'll get to that. This is a really interesting idea. You see, some ancestor in Sinnoh ended up playing a crucial evil role, right? Cynthia's ancestor Volo. Steven, I remember the Devon Corp and his dad, they make it sound a little suspicious. They're also investigating Infinity Energy. So even though Gamefreak was trying to tie Auras into X and Y lore, so they introduced Infinity Energy, said AZ popped up at some point to Hoenn, even though it was something simple they were trying to do back then, now that it's established that Hoenn and Kalos are two Mega Evolution regions, you can tie their connection even closer. And just how you had ancestors from all over the place in Legends Arceus, like Wally's ancestor, who's not even from Hoenn, you could have Steven's ancestor and maybe some Hoenn figures that will exist in this older Kalos game. And if Steven and his dad's ancestor is someone evil and they were getting close to that Infinity Energy, which lore-wise it sounds like it's something closely related to what the answer to Mega Evolution is, it could make sense. His descendants, they learned about Infinity Energy, but they decided to just take it in a good direction, forming this company and trying to build a better Hoenn. But at the start, Steven's ancestor could be a Volo, an alternate Volo. We gotta see this. What I also like, we haven't even read the email, but what I also like about this idea is we do have a Giratina equivalent within the Mega Evolution scheme, right? Rayquaza. You never know if this man with Infinity Energy wielded in some way, he confronted Rayquaza and actually tried to control it temporarily. Now that you think of it, so much about Hoenn could be incorporated into these. We're gonna have to talk about this. Like the Draconids. But the Draconids are so simple, they could be properly expanded. And maybe they were there during this event with this Rayquaza. Okay, we're assuming a lot, but this is a great idea. Because Rayquaza would also answer the key to what Mega Evolution is. Which I kind of put out a theory solving how Rayquaza's natural Mega Evolution works. And it seems to be the case. But we still need the game to tell us that. Okay, let's read this. Hey ttarSUBMIT, loving the Pokemon ZA vids. It's dry AF right now and you're keeping us fed. I'm keeping myself interested in Pokemon ZA. Now to the theory. Remember in Auras, how Watson didn't want New Marvel to be kept running because if I remember correctly, it was going to be entirely powered by Infinity Energy / Mega Energy, which was the life essence of dead Pokemon from the war. So their souls will never be at peace, which is pretty messed up in my opinion. I did not know this. But that would be the origin to Infinity Energy, right? If our theory on Mega Evolution's origin is right, and somehow Xerneas or Yveltal's energy is used in it, then Infinity Energy is kind of just raw Xerneas and Yveltal energy, which is life forces. So it's possible this machine is running on Infinity Energy. If I remember correctly, Devon Corp was responsible for the project, as they do nearly everything in Hoenn, meaning that they had to know inside knowledge about where the Mega Energy ended up when AZ fired the weapon to end the war, and managed to harness power from it to do many things. It does sound like that's what he did because you see this Camerupt and Sharpedo ship that they use? The people who made it back in Slateport, it was made from Infinity Energy. That's what it runs on. And so does the Moss Steep shuttles. So Devon Corpus provided an interesting energy source to these people. That's why it's even more believable that Hoenn and their characters, their ancestors could tie to this old Kalos game. As we saw in Auras, they could make an artificial ultra wormhole to send the meteorite to another universe, but that was stopped by Xenia, who thought it was unjust to have someone else just deal with the problem they had nothing to do with. I feel like we just gotta ignore this. I don't know what Gamefreak was thinking with this. It's like unnecessarily complicated. I mean, we know what they're trying to do, but it's not needed. So we know it's very, very, very powerful, Infinity Energy, but it comes with the cost of losing your moral code, as you basically are using undead Pokemon like AZ to further your own twisted goals. This is true. It depends what Steven and his dad, okay, not Steven, he's just running around. His dad and maybe his ancestors had figured out about what they would dub Infinity Energy. So here's an eerie image from Steven's dad saying, the energy that could be gained by the sacrifice of so many Pokemon. This is the question right now. We don't know if he's talking about how it was used back then, like when AZ did it, or if he's also doing that right now when he's doing Infinity Energy. He does fit perfectly with the notion of someone rich with something suspicious in his closet, you know? Would he openly tell it to us if he's also doing the same thing? But either way, what you could have is something like his ancestor 200 years ago in Kalos at the time, he was actively repeating what AZ did in a different scale. Maybe he found a different ultimate weapon like creation that's much smaller, so he just portably went around and tried to gain as much life force as possible. Bro, I want this to be the case. That would be so badass to have an evil Steven Ancestor. He got the longer hair, because you know that works with that silver hair, and man is wearing like a large coat. Gamefreak, I freaking swear if you're not cooking this up. Check this out. Name him Devon Stone. And so they named the corporation after him, which means they like the dude. Devon Corp liked them enough to name it after him. But you could do Devon. You could put that space in between and it sounds French. And Kalos is French. Devon Stone. Man sounds like an assassin. Now listen, that's freaking sick, by the way. Pokemon, I'm about to be sad when you're not cooking this. So if in these games we confront him, beat him, stop him, he walks away, maybe he doesn't fully walk away like Volo does. Maybe he just disappears. And so he forms the Von Corp and still wins with this infinity energy idea, but you just stop him from doing some like Rayquaza stuff. It sounds a bit fanficky for me to bring up Rayquaza, right? But it actually makes sense. Pretty much what Gamefreak would want to do is, since they have it a bit unorganized that we have 2 regions with Mega Evolution tied to them, what they would do in this game is make it more seamless why Hoenn has this Mega Evolution focus. So when they show a Lysander Ancestor back in Legends ZA, they show this Steven Ancestor that ends up being the villain and all, it'll seem very natural that Hoenn and Kalos are these 2 Mega Evolution regions. And it would also answer why, right? So pretty much the idea is AZ came to Hoenn and gave them something. He gave them Mega Stones, he gave them that Eternal Flower and all. So it makes you wonder, if that's so far the reason Mega Evolution is in Hoenn, why did he only come to Hoenn specifically? Why didn't he go to other regions? It makes you think there was a reason that he went to Hoenn, because it has, or a lot of the characters that are there now, have histories going back to what happened in Legends EA. And AZ, who's been alive all this time, provides an interesting perspective. He could have seen with his own eyes Ancestor Steven pulling some shady stuff, and then he's checking out Hoenn to see how their descendants are doing. My dudes, I like this a lot. Shank that like button, let me know your thoughts. Would you want in a Kalos game for Steven's Ancestor, long hair trench coat, to be the Volo? This would break the world. This would be so cool, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.